Hi, what's up to all my independent, high performing leaders? Do you have trouble asking for help or accepting help when it's offered? Yeah, I got you. This broadcast is for you. So, I just want to give a little bit of context and say that I don't have your problem. I probably have the opposite problem. It's way too easy for me to ask for help. I ask for help all the time. I recognize when I need help and I ask for it. But I have had decades of disappointment, hurt, frustration around actually getting help that was truly helpful, that really felt helpful. Maybe you know what I mean. I'm guessing you do if you're listening in. So, what I came to realize was that the only person who really was qualified to help me was me. Now, it was tempting. I many times thought about running off into a mountain and hiding away from the rest of the world, but logistically that wasn't really working out. So here's what I just did instead. I designated myself to be my chief caregiving officer. Does that mean that I closed my heart off from other people or I stopped accepting help or even asking for help? No, it just meant that I was a lot more picky because I wasn't needing anything from other people. We all need help. We all need support. We're human. Humans need support. But we can come from a needy place or we can come from a very self-sufficient place. And I got to a place of being self-sufficient so that I could finally receive the right help from the right people because I had criteria. It was before I didn't realize I had the criteria until it was not met and then I was disappointed or upset or hurt or whatever. Once I realized what my criteria were, a few things were, first of all, that whoever it is that I was asking for help needed to be less judgmental of me, all of me, than I was. Because maybe you're familiar with this. People have a projection on you. They think you're a certain kind of way, and then they get to know you, and then they're like, oh, this person is flawed. And now it like discounts everything. That's not helpful. That's judgy at some level. And I've done it a million times. I'm not sitting here on a high horse again thinking that I'm some sort of person who's just totally non-judgmental. We all have judgment in us, but it takes skill, it takes practice, and it takes effort to be able to put our judgments aside and really truly be present for another person. So that was one of my criteria. My second criteria was then they needed to let me help them too. If they were going to be only wanting to give help and not receive, then it's not really reciprocal. It doesn't really feel like for me. That was one of my criteria. And the third thing was that they needed to be their own chief caregiving officer and not expect me to be their caregiving officer or someone else to be their chief caregiving officer because they're the only ones really qualified for that role. So it was finding that balance, right? Someone who was willing to accept help and also was able to take care of their own needs primarily and then was able to be non-judgmental of me. Well, what does this have to do with you? My guess is the reason why you have such a hard time asking for help is because usually you're disappointed when you do, or, you feel really hurt or upset by it. And so you're like, you know what? I can do that all by myself, right? But here's the thing. It's really, really great that you have standards. Keep those standards. That's awesome. But it's not so great when you're always trying to carry everything on your own. I mean, that leads to just fatigue, burnout, resentment, and all kinds of other problems that we don't need, right? Because as humans, we're designed to connect with other people, to receive and give help to each other, right? So, how do we address this? Well, I just want you to know that you're not alone. It's not your fault that things are the way that they've been. We live in a world, there's lots of judgment, there's lots of superficial standards, there's a lot of things that are artificial that aren't even real and have no bearing on the well-being of humanity that we put way too much emphasis on. Okay. We just care so, and there's nothing wrong with sports, but we care so much about a team, and we don't even care about the person that's on the street corner, or that's, living next door to us, or people that we work with, and we care so much about strangers and what they do in an entertainment performance than we do about our own fellow people in our neighborhood and in our communities. And to me, I think that's backwards. I don't think there's anything wrong with sports, but they shouldn't precede the well-being of people that you actually know and interact with, right? That's a simple example. So we live in a world where things are kind of have been upside down for a while when it comes to priorities. Now, thank goodness, things are starting to change. But in the meantime, we have a lot of priorities that are not aligned with what's actually truly important. And so what I'm inviting you to is a 30-day accelerator where we're going to really go and see what exactly it is that's needed for you to become your own chief caregiving officer, because that is one thing that you really can't delegate completely. You can delegate some of it, but you should be your primary caregiver, because when you are, then you get to set the standard for yourself. You get to enjoy, you meet your own criteria, and you get to enjoy your life at a higher quality, while at the same time knowing, this person also meets my criteria. Let me give them a little bit, see how they do with that, then I can give them some more, right? Like anything else that we designate. But in this case, we're designating support and help. Now, I know from the perspective of delegating tasks, that can be one thing, and that's part of it. But often the things that we have the hardest time accepting help for are the things that are most personal for us, the things that are most intimate, the things that stress us the most. Those are the things we often don't know how. And often it's not that easy to delegate those things. So this is what I want to do with you for 30 days. If you are a high performer, if you're highly independent, if you have a hard time accepting assistance, then this is for you. Because when you can relax into your own self trust, knowing that you can take care of yourself regardless of what happens, lo and behold, you end up becoming less guarded, and people end up trusting you more. People end up looking for ways to support you more because they can feel the realness from you. It's like it's palpable, they can really feel it. And that is one of the hallmarks of great leaders. And just not even about those other people, just for you, for your sake, you know? It's like the way that you can relax when you know, "Okay, I've got me, and I also know that this person, and this person have got those other things," and you can really relax and know that. So my hope for you is that you take this information, you take these ideas, and you run with them. And if you, let me not say if, I invite you to join me in the 30-day accelerator to become your own chief caregiving officer. Let me know in the comments if that's something that appeals to you. Type revolution in the comments or send me a DM and let me know, and I will make sure you get all the information on that. It starts September 1st, so there is a deadline, the end of August. And I really hope that no matter what, whether it's for you or not, that you take away that you can be your own chief caregiving officer. And I don't mean like closing people out or blocking people out, but actually being the person that that meets your own needs, that really truly can take care of everything that you need in a really healthy and positive way, that doesn't feel like you're being abandoned or you're alone or you're isolated, but that you are truly empowered to support yourself, because every single human being deserves to feel that and to experience that. So, speaking from my own painful past learned experience, much love. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.